Hello out there to you. In this video, I'm going to go over how to use Google Sheets to find the total revenue, marginal cost, and profit maximizing level of production for this optometry practice. So I've got owner of an optometry practice in a city with more than 100 and other practices, the demand and cost schedule. So I'm going to actually briefly explain why it faces a downward sloping demand curve. So what that means is that there's different service levels or quality for each optometrist. That makes sense. People have different skills, different personalities, all of that. So that's gonna make it monopolistically competitive. So not all optometry producer is exactly the same. So that's the answer to B. So we're going to fill in all of this and find profit maximization. Now, whenever you're asked about profit maximization, it just means I'm going to find the quantity where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I just took a screenshot of the table out of the problem, and I'm going to put that into Google Sheets here. So let's do this. Okay, so I'm just start typing here, price per eye exam. Okay, and that's going to get a little bit further over the column there. So I just double clicked on that. You can also click and drag it. So there we go. And then eye exams per week. I'm just typing right into there. Total cost per week, because this is economics, you could have just written TC. Okay, and then total revenue per week. Okay, now if I right click on this, I should be able to know how to do it in Excel. We should be able to wrap text in this and then make the column a little bit taller there. No, looks like that's easier done in Excel. Let's see, format should be wrapping right there. There we go. So it was under format, wrapping, and then we just want to wrap it. Okay. Now, if I don't want to keep doing that, I can actually just take this format painter here. It's going to take whatever formatting I have here, click it right there, and I've got that. Not I want that to be like that too. Okay. Now I also want, just because I'm picky, I just clicked on that, did the whole row. I'm going to hit bold. That gives me like the bolded amount there. And now I'm going to even go take it a step further. I'm going to go center it. Okay. So then what else do we need? We need total revenue per week. And we'll copy that one. And then we want marginal revenue. And we want marginal cost. Perfectly acceptable to abbreviate that as MR and MC. Okay, so let's go back into wrapping. And we wrapped it. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy the information from the problem 80, 60. Which you can see right here, 60, 40, and 20. And then eye exams per week, 100, 40, 200, 300, 310, and 550. Somewhere I went wrong, because that's those two belong right there. It's okay if you made a mistake, just grab it and move it down. Where did I go wrong here? You're probably seeing it, I don't see it. 100, 100, 80, 140, 60. Oh, I just had an extra 60. Okay, and that's okay. So I'm just going to click right there, right click, delete the row, and it's gone. See, you saw it, you were telling me, and I didn't listen because I can't hear you. This is a video going the other way. Okay, now all of these are dollar values, so now I've got all the information off the problem. So I'm just gonna highlight this whole guy, and there's this button right here. Okay. Now if I wanted it to round it, I can do that, but we'll keep the pennies in there. And let's zoom in a little bit. We want to go to like 125. There we go. A little easier to read. All right. So total revenue, and for you, I'm going to put in price times quantity. That way you have the formula. It's total revenue. So I'm going to write a formula. If I want to write a formula, I start with equal sign. It's thinking it knows what I want. It doesn't know what I want. So I want price, and then the multiplication is that little star button. Okay. Per eye exam. Oh, and I've made a mistake because these are in quantity. These are not in money. So I want to go up to format, and I want to make this just a number again. Okay. So there you go. All right, and then why do I have total revenue twice? What did I just did it twice. Doubling up things, weird. All right, so we'll just delete that column, no problem. And I can type out that formula again, but I don't need to. If you grab that little cross thing and then highlight it down, it's going to copy that. So you can see that one is A3 times B3, and copied it all the way down. So I took all that information down. Okay, now marginal revenue is the difference between this level of revenue and this level of revenue. Okay, and then we're going to adjust it for the difference in quantity. So I don't have a marginal revenue here because I don't have anything to compare it to. I don't know if I raise the price of eye exams to $150 per week. I don't know how many I would sell. So or service, I suppose. So I don't have anything to compare it to. So I'll just do that. All right. So in this one, marginal revenue is the difference between here and here. So I'm going to write a formula here. So it's the difference between here and here. However, I need to adjust for the fact that it's a different number of quantity changes, right? There's the quantity goes from 100 to 140. So it's a difference of 40. But I'm going to write it as a formula. So I'm going to say this minus this. Now notice I'm putting it in parentheses because it's going to want to divide the amounts before you without the parentheses. So I want this top number, which is this, the difference between total revenue, to be on the numerator, and then I want the denominator to be the difference in quantity. Okay, and then that gives me the marginal revenue. Now you always want to read what they're doing. I'm not going to take their suggestion because I'm going to show you how to. So we're going to copy that down, and we want to make sure that it's right. Okay, so D4 minus D3, which is that level total, the change in total revenue, divided by the change in quantity, and it did do it right, so we can trust it. Okay. Notice if we lower the price down to $20, we actually make less total revenue. So that's reflected in the negative marginal revenue. So you'll see that a lot. All right. Then here, so this number is a little tricky because this number is going to be 0. Because the difference between here and here is nothing. So we're gonna put a 0 there. Marginal cost is the additional cost. Okay, it's gonna get cranky. I guess it wouldn't get cranky if you did it right. So this minus this, which is gonna be 0, and then again we're gonna divide that by, put in parentheses, this minus this. Okay, and then just autofill all the way down. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. The marginal cost is really low, so it must be that we filled in. It's really cheap to do an additional eye exam. So the right answer here for profit maximization, profit max, it means I'm going to produce to the last quantity where marginal revenue is above marginal cost. So what you can do if you want to do this slowly, do I want to produce 140? Yes, because my marginal revenue is 30 and my marginal cost is 0. Would I be comfortable with this? Yes. Would I be comfortable with this? Yes. Would I be comfortable with this? No. Okay. So the right answer here is 310 because that's the last quantity where I can produce above my marginal cost. And what would be my total revenue and my total cost? So we'll just do a column for profit. We don't really need to do this, but profit is going to be total revenue minus total cost. Okay, and we'll just take that autofill down. And so you can look and see that the profit maximizing quantity is 310 because that's the level of quantity where we get the most profit there. So we should choose a price of eye exam $40. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? $40, and then do 310 eye exams. Let's see if there's any other questions. We filled it all in. Okay, now an alternative version of this question that I've seen has a different total cost. So what's nice about doing this in a spreadsheet is we can change the total cost. And let's go 1080. So notice I'm just changing this and it's updating my marginal cost column. So that's kind of nice. So once you've made a couple of these, you can actually reuse them if you wanted to. Okay, and so now total costs get much higher. So here in this case with this different cost column, we're going to produce 200 eye exams and we're going to charge 60. Okay, so with that different cost, we're going to have a different profit maximizing quantity. Okay, so that's how to set up a spreadsheet like this and in a monopolistically competitive environment solve for profit maximizing quantity.